Here we go. See if I can get my monitor to behave. All right, we'll get out of this infinite Tsukiyomi of an intro loop. All right. So where we left off last, I was actually just doing a little bit of grinding before I fight the final gym. But no one's here right now, so I get to talk about the team a little bit. Holy. Not dying. Yeah, so talk about the team a little bit and what the rest of the run is going to look like. So, I'm not super worried for, wowee, I'm dying right now, hold up. I'm not super worried for Giovanni in the Viridian Gym, but the Elite Four is definitely giga spooky. To be honest, Surf on my Kangaskhan is gonna, like, straight up just, like, carry me through that. But I want to make sure I'm on level for everything, so 49 I think is the minimum level I want everything to be, because then my final little grind to the Elite Four, and then I think I got one more battle with my rival as well. Wowee. Yeah, I do have one more battle with my rival on Route 22. And he has a level 53 Venusaur. So that's a little sus. In fact, his whole team is mega sus. That's actually going to be a wicked sketchy little match. Yeah. Wow. I did not anticipate that. I honestly thought I was done with my rival till I got to the champion fight. Yeah, I got Surf going on my modest Kangaskhan. Modest being probably one of the worst natures I could have gone on this Pokemon. I genuinely think this is the fastest place to grind levels. Let's see. We'll see what the internet has to say about this. Cue-Ball Kochi. Yeah, top of Cycling Road. Everyone says top of Cycling Road. I have to agree. This is what I did when I was a little kid, too. Ooh, wait. I gotta go. I guess I could train on the trainers in his gym, too. Problem is, there's a lot of fighting types in this gym. Viridian Gym is like mega sus. Yeah, there's a black belt with a level 43 Machoke. There's a Nidoking with double kick. There's another Machoke Machop combo. And then, yes, there's... It's basically just the black belts I gotta be, like, super prepared for. And I don't know if there's a way you can, like perfectly avoid everything in there. Like, I gotta familiarize myself with that map a little bit. The cool trainers are easy to deal with. They have all ground types, so like Surf just clears them. Okay. I got the map pulled up so I don't end up like a clown here. Losing my whole run to this. That would be so sad. Alright. Cue Ball Luke. I think Fake Out is getting towards one-shot scenario for these guys. That's probably enough XP for Ganucci, I think. Snorlax is the only one at this gym that like I'm like actually a little nervous about. Because he's so slow. I was a busybody. I already got my Clefable level 49. Clefable's a pain to train, though, because it's like a pure stall Pokemon, the set that it's running. Seismic Toss, Moonlight. It's terrible. Right now it has Water Pulse as its like only special damaging move. We don't like that. We don't like Smokescreen in my house. I'm actually just going to swap to Ganucci, because I genuinely don't know if this thing has Self-Destruct. Okay. Well, Fake Out, I think, KOs. Oh, it doesn't. Weezing is kind of a tank, I guess. One of my favorite Pokemon of all time. It was actually... It was technically the second, like in shiny I've ever encountered. Technically the second. The first being a shiny Goldeen. On the route on Pokemon Crystal in between Ekruteak and the Ice Gym. I can't remember. There's like a little like mini cutscene where you encounter Suicune. It was right before that cutscene I encountered a shiny Goldeen. And I didn't even catch it. I was so disgusted with how bad that shiny was. I gotta look at it. Goldeen has to like have one of the worst shinies in the whole game. Goldeen and Gengar both got done so dirty. And Gengar used to be cool. Holy, Gen 1 Pokemon have the biggest articles ever about them online. Yeah, the difference between shiny and non-shiny is like terrible. Honestly, terrible. What an ugly Pokemon. But Coughing, on the other hand, has a sick shiny. It's like teal. But I feel like I'm a sucker for that color. It's like one of my favorite colors. Yeah, sorry. I'm looking at it shiny. It's so good. It was more of a blue in the earlier generations, I guess, but it still looked so good. It honestly looks like Coughing under like a nighttime filter. It's very aesthetic. Ooh, that's no good. Alright, so after this battle, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do the gym matches. Okay, that does KO. I'm going to do the gym matches. That should give me, like, a decent boost of XP. The fact that those guys give 1,000 is kind of sweet. But the gym matches should be pretty easy. And I do still kind of have to fix up my movesets because I'm running like a very HM-heavy moveset because you kind of need to. That final match with my rival actually has me spooked. My level cap like immediately becomes 60 after it. But it's just a matter of like, you know, for entertainment's sake and stream's sake, I don't want to have to like grind more after this gym. So that's why I kind of want to have everything like level 50 by the time I get there. Alright, hold on. Let me look at this map real quick. I'm going to go into the gym. I just want to make sure I just have to take the matches in the order, like a proper order, purposefully, so I don't accidentally get caught off guard by like I don't know, one of the karate guys, one of the black belts. There's my dude. Such weird map design, you know, like they actually, like they definitely have the tile space to make this look more normal. I know it's like 1-to-1, it's like pretty true to Gen 1, but so yeah. So this should technically be, this is either Tamer Cole or Cool Trainer Samuel. I think it's Cool Trainer Samuel. That's what my gut's telling me. Huh, you must be running out of steam by now. What an anime saying. It is Cool Trainer Yuji with a Sand Slash up front. I was wrong about both. So he has all ground types, so he just crumbles to surf. All of the Pokemon on his team have cripplingly low special defense. Sand Slash is like, actually, it is funny how low its special defense is. Alolan Sand Slash's special defense is like 35 or something like that. His special defense is 65, excuse me. Special attack is 25. So yeah, actually, this Sand Slash version is even weaker to surf. That's so funny. I think its defense stat is like 130, right? No, 110. It's not, this Pokemon's terrible. That's like one of the worst 450 base stat total Pokemon I've ever seen. And this is a 4-time super effective move, so it will KO. And what's funny is, like, I think Graveler gets Sturdy in later generations, but Sturdy in this generation doesn't save you from, like, non-one-hit KO moves. It only saves you from, like, Fissure and Sheer Cold, which is funny. So this is just, like, a Giga free XP. Onix, once again, has, like, cripplingly low special defense. Yeah. And these Pokemon are pretty decent level, so it's nice that they're all giving over 1,000 XP each. Baramac might actually live this. Yeah. Well, luckily I'm spamming Surf, so that actually has no effect on the outcome of this match. Yeah, I gotta get all this XP. So, this guy looks like a black belt below, so I'm gonna throw on my far-fetched Chitting. And I think one of the most unfortunate aspects of this run is the fact that I can't get leftovers. Because I need the item finder, and to get the item finder, you have to have, like, I think it's like 40 Pokemon or 30 Pokemon in your Pokedex. So Chitting definitely one-shots with this. There's also a super high critical hit chance. Oh, yeah. Boosted, too. This is probably not a guaranteed one-shot, to be honest. Yeah. Vital Throat is a set damage, I believe. How much did that do? Did that do 45? No. Vital Throw's a weird move. Well, let me see it. It's like an early game fighting move, but it has a very bizarre effect. So it's power 70. Yeah, and it's the signature move, I guess, of them. It has a decreased priority. It bypasses accuracy checks. Interesting. It's been removed in Gen 9. That's interesting, too. I saw a move today that I haven't seen in forever called Camouflage. And I could not tell you if this move has... I don't think this move has ever been used in any competitive sense. When did they get rid of it? Because there's no way it's in the current game. Yeah, so after Gen 8, it couldn't be selected. You could know Malium Z Camouflage? Why, though? That's so funny. When was it added? Generation 3. I guess they gave Staryu a signature move. Interesting. Alright, I think that's the only time Cheating is going to get an opportunity to shine for a minute. Right. I can heal up now that I'm out of a battle. This is the funniest item to have in a Nuzlocke. Like, it actually is just so troll. Oh, I have no healing items, unfortunately. Alright. Eradicate should clear this guy pretty well. I just need to get a couple levels on my guys. I gotta make sure I don't get folded by... Rhyhorn? He does not win this. Ever. Let's go. We fake out because haha. I was running 3 one-hit KO moves in the original game. That's so funny. Yeah, so he's not nearly as scary this game. So that was Tamer Jason. So genuinely, there's one cool trainer in here that has like an absolute rocket of a team with 2 Marowaks, a Rhyhorn, a Nidorina, and a Nidoqueen. Like genuinely, almost as scary as Giovanni, because like Dugtrio gets 1 shot, both Rhyhorns get 1 shot. I only have to deal with the Nidoking and Nidoqueen that are scary. This guy's kind of the same way. He's got 2 Marowaks that don't get 1 shot. Or like, I don't think... Well, this one will, because I'll be able to fake it out first, but... The second one will not die to a straight Surf, I don't think. Yeah, so there's 1 down. I don't think this thing has not Surf, excuse me. Double Kick. No, it does. Wow, that did nothing. I think Strength might do more to this Pokemon. Is Nidorina not a ground type? No, Nidorina's just straight poison. That's funny. So Strength is better on Nidorina. Now I know. This Pokemon is actually terrifying. Surf does not 1-shot. It barely 2 shots. Body Slam Paralysis will be rough here. Okay, cool. Cool. Hopefully that wasn't a high roll and we don't min roll here. We speak it into existence. So even a crit doesn't KO me. Alright, this is getting rough for Ganucci here. This is really rough for Ganucci. Alright, we gotta swap. So it's body slamming. I gotta stay in, actually. Because I can eat up 2 more before I'm in crit range. That is clearly more than half. That's got to be a high roll again. If I low roll again, I'll be sad. Or if I get paralyzed. 50% chance in this generation. Alright, this is the last one I can risk. There we go. Please. Okay, Nidoqueen's gone. I'm going in on sus right now. So yeah, this is the guy with the actual, like, sicko mode team. And then there's a guy with two Machokes. He's also kind of sus, but I think my bird types clear him pretty well. Tri-attack is so OP in this game. I think B clears this, actually. Ooh. Because I still have Water Pulse. It's the only reason I kept it on this Pokemon. And I should be faster. It's wild to think that Rhyhorn and Rhydon were like top tier in Gen 1. It's also wild to think that Tauros was so OP that it ran Blizzard. Alright, I gotta go heal up my team. Don't want to get cocky and take any stray KOs. What's up, brother? Welcome to the stream. How's your day going? I just hopped on like 20 minutes ago. I'm just about to start my battle with Giovanni. This map is so weird. So archaic. Alright, hold on. Let me look at this gym map real quick. I don't want to walk into like any stray battles that might otherwise just up and cook me. So there's a black belt guy up around the corner here, it looks like. Yeah. The Karate King. I still haven't even cleared out the fighting gym in Saffron City. I should probably do that for XP too if I'm still short. Pretty good. I'm on your level grinding on one island on Leaf Green. Like, right after you defeat Blaine. I totally forgot that section existed, by the way. I was so, like, confused. Yeah, I got lost over there. Are you doing a Nuzlocke as well, perchance? There's Machoke down in one hit. That's, like, actually big. But the stick, which is the held item of Farfetch'd, does increase its critical hit chance, like, tremendously. Fall Swipe. If there were any more valid catches that I could run for the rest of the game, I would definitely put Fall Swipe on my team. Oh. But I don't have any valid encounters till post Elite 4. Unfortunately. Yeah, as long as I crit through all the Machokes, I don't have to tank any hits, which is huge. You're not doing those before you face the Elite Four? The Elite Four in this game is no joke. To be honest, it's one of the most difficult Elite Fours in any of the Pokemon games, in my opinion. Because in Gen 1, it's easily abusable because Gen 1 AI is so terrible. But by the time, like, it's Gen 3 now, they also added abilities. The level jump from Giovanni to the Elite Four is massive. There's also, like, not a lot of trainers in between Giovanni and the Elite Four that you can, like, really train up on. Let's go. So that's just a straight one-shots. That's crazy. Are you playing on the emulator, or not the emulator, but the virtual console, like on the Switch, or are you playing on OG? Using the VS Seeker. My favorite place to grind, not gonna lie, is right at the top of Cycling Hill. And it was really fun, like right at the beginning of the stream, I was like Googling what other people thought was like the best grind location. You're playing your DS Lite. On the OG hardware, that's sick. Leaf Green is a crazy, like, it's a cool game, honestly. Ooh, I don't know what this guy has to offer for a team. This guy could have cooked me. Arbok and a Tauros. I'm actually going to lead my Snorlax here. I, unfortunately, very recently broke my DS. It wasn't a DS Lite, but it was a regular one. And I did, like, that classic thing where, like, I was playing it in bed and I put it on my blanket in front of me and I was like, where is it? And so I lifted up my blanket and I just sent it. It was so sad. Let's hear the team. If the team's underrated, I gotta hear it. An underdog team for the Elite Four. I love it. Oh, I forgot Arbok has Intimidate. I think Body Slam still, like, cooks him. Ooh, plus a Screech. I'm swapping out after this. Also, this is a huge question that, like, you have to ask everyone who plays this game. What's your favorite Gen 1 Pokemon? It's sort of like, what is your horoscope, you know? It's on equal levels that. I'm going to go right into Doc Drizzler, the Raticate. Acid? That's a move I forgot existed. Defense falls. That's interesting. I'm going to Hyper Fang, even though it's not 100% accurate, and I'm never going to be punished for it. Tauros has Intimidate too. I forgot about that. So double Intimidate. Tauros is a strong Pokemon, though. I genuinely think I only tank one move from this Pokemon. In fact, he might even be able to crit KO me. Oh, he rested immediately. That's awesome. You have Parasect, Dugong, Pidgeot, Raichu, Blastoise, and Mr. Mime. Okay, is Mr. Mime the traded Mr. Mime? Mimeo or something? Parasect is crazy. Parasect, I think, is the only Pokemon... Oh, I got a crit. That's huge. I think Parasect is the only Pokemon that learns Spore in this game. Or that you have access to that learns Spore. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You're running Parasect, so you know better than I. Does it? Yeah, it gets it at 27. It is the traded Mr. Mime. So you're running the traded Mr. Mime, and I'm running the traded Farfetch'd. Oh my god, I always forget that Pokemon's name. Parasect is... I love Dugong, too. Dugong is really funny because... I don't know if you play random battles on Smogon at all on Pokemon Showdown, but Dugong is actually, like, very OP in random battles. You couldn't find one in the wild. Where do they appear? They're, like... So, like, in my memory, like, my most played game is Ruby Sapphire... not Ruby Sapphire Emerald. Gold, Silver, Crystal. So, like, in Gold, Silver, Crystal, I think you get them in Pallet Town, like, right south of that, like... little peninsula area. Alright, let me look at this gym map real quick so I don't cook myself again. So there's one more karate guy to the north. Sus is looking healthy. So is Chiding. I actually want to lead Chiding because Sus is not really as powerful when it comes to the flying type moves. I only have flying moves on Sus. Oh, you can only get it via trade. That's funny. Wait. Is he a version exclusive? Or she? Mimeo? I don't know what gender the Pokemon is that you trade for. I know it's used in the speedrun. It's really cool. Vital Throw. 70 base power. So Aerial Ace does not one-shot. And I am 100% within crit range, so this is like super sketchy. Oh, it was only one Machoke. Holy. I didn't see him in the trainer list. Huh. Unfortunate. That could have been really sketchy, not gonna lie. If he had like one more Pokemon. So from what I understand, there should be... There should be one more black belt trainer in here. So that was the level 43 Machoke. Yeah, there's a guy with a level 40 Machop and Machoke somewhere in here. He's hiding away from me in this gym. Another thing about the traded Mr. Mime is it's also used in arbitrary code execution in Fire Red and Leaf Green. So that Mr. Mime is really cool because it gets access to recycle. And I'm not super familiar with the arbitrary code execution process in this game, but I do know it has to do with knocking off mail on your Mr. Mime and then trying to like recycle it. It has some like crazy effect on the game. I'm not super familiar with the arbitrary code execution of Fire Red and Leaf Green, but once I complete this run, or if I fail, I mean, I might not pass the run. I might not succeed, but once I complete the run, I figured I'd spend some time exploring it. So, cool trainer Samuel. This guy's team all crumbles to my Kangaskhan, so I really don't have to sweat it here too much. Oh, burn is kind of big. That's going to do schmeckles. With a crit, it still does like 20. That's so funny. He's a cool trainer. He wouldn't be cool if he didn't use his money to his advantage. He's cheating. This is a Nuzlocke. You're not allowed to use items. It's funny, Tri-Attack is a physical attack in this game, and I always forget that. Ooh, scary face. Not so scary, though. I genuinely might still be faster. Yeah, Rhyhorn is so slow. And what's really funny is, like, it was designed as a Pokemon that you're supposed to, like, ride around. Or at least I think that was his initial, like, idea. It was, I believe, the first Pokemon ever designed. The initial concept art for Rhydon. Oh, no, Rhyhorn, excuse me. Had him looking like a character out of... Yeah, here it is. Had him looking like a character out of Dragon Ball Z. It's very interesting. Your favorite Gen 1 is Persian? Are you Giovanni? No, I love Persian. Or Sandslash? How do you feel about a Alolan Sandslash? Nidorino is also just poison type. I gotta remember that. There's no ground type on that Pokemon. You just missed some horrible Sandslash blasphemy. I was just discussing about how low his defense stats are. His special defense stat is like 55. Which you would never expect from like a defensive looking Pokemon, you know? Nidokings are menacing. Thrash. Let's see how much this does. Not enough. This guy does have double kick. Alolan Sandslash is sick. It has like an incredibly high defense, but because it's steel ice, you can like sneeze on it with a fire move. And it's gone, unfortunately. If I could be a Pokemon gym leader, what type would I be? I would be lying if I didn't say normal type. I mean, I did the normal type only speedrun because they are my favorite type. Not just because there's a lot of OP normal types in Gen 1. Like, my favorite legendary is Regigigas, which he doesn't necessarily qualify as a legendary, but he's legendary in my heart. And if I wasn't a normal type gym leader, I'd probably do Ice, just because it's like... Reversal? Yeah, this move's bad. Yeah, maybe Ice. How about yourself? Dark type? Mighty Anna. What's so funny is, like... Dark types are so good, but for the first, like, 2, 3... Oh, my encoder just took a dookie. Wowee. I like Umbreon for dark types a lot. I'm trying to think. But that's like such a simple man decision. That's such like a mainstream choice to say that Umbreon's my favorite dark type. And I so like, as much as I hate Incineroar, I like ironically like Incineroar. Mostly because of Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers made me like that Pokemon. Was Karen a dark? Yeah, Karen was technically a dark type gym leader in Gen 2. I don't know if her team necessarily gave dark type vibes, because I think she had like... Yeah, I think her only dark types were Houndoom and Murkrow. Oh, she had Umbreon as well, so she had 3 dark types. And then I guess there was Sydney from Gen 3. I think that's his name. Sydney, the first Elite Four member in Ruby Sapphire Emerald. I've been playing Pokemon Champions as of late a lot too for competitive VGC. And like, it's really funny. You run into people all the time who are doing like a classic like gym leader kind of setup where they're like, they'll look just like a gym leader. It's awesome. I got cooked by one the other day. It was really bad. It was normal type only. And I actually was, because there's not a lot of normal types in that game. So, alright, so I think I have one more battle in here. I think I have exactly one more battle in Viridian Gym. Against a cool trainer with like a bajillion ground types. Wait, no, I already fought him. Against a black belt. Okay, I gotta not get cooked by the black belt. Yeah, so I think once I complete this playthrough, I'm gonna take all the Pokemon that I can from this playthrough and port them over to Champions so that I can kind of see if I can even get a win with the team. Have you played the 4? I have not played the 4chan Pokemon game. Clover? Is it a ROM hack? Oh, sorry. The third, if you Google image search Pokemon Clover, the third image down. That's funny. No, I haven't. I haven't actually played much of many ROM hacks, to be honest. No, I think I got them all. I think I got all the trainers in the gym. Alright. I gotta go train up just a little bit. I actually cannot be going in with Pokemon this week because right after this gym leader battle, I have to fight my rival. And I figured for today's stream, it'd be nice to get to at least to the Elite Four. And I don't want to do that with taking any casualties. along the way. I want to save my whole team. Back in the day, like years ago, I remember like when like Pokemon ROM hacking was in its like infancy. There was some game that I was like so excited to play. It was in like an early access. It was like a Minecraft mod that like 3D-ified Gen 2 so that like you could experience Gen 2 from like a first person experience. I don't know if it ever got completed though, but I remember I was like super hyped to try it out. That, and then there was one other Pokemon ROM hack that like I was like super excited. I think it was called, I don't know. They're all so fun. They all kind of like blend together. And honestly, as of late, I've been seeing a lot of like ROM hack hardware, like in real life at video game stores, like secondhand stores and stuff. Like I saw someone loaded Radical Red onto a cart and was selling it. It looked like it had like a ruby cart kind of color. Ever scared of any Pokemon creepypastas? I don't think I was like ever scared of them. I did though, like Gen 1 and 2 were like very weird games, especially because like back then there wasn't like the internet wasn't like super usable, right? It was like everything was like word of mouth, playground stuff, you know, Mew into the truck. And I do remember like thinking very much so that like the Cinnabar lab was like very creepy, and like for some reason like I was taught and like, you know, lied to on the playground and told that you could get like Mew through that lab and you had to do all this BS, you know, and like everyone did like the beat the Elite 400 times nonsense and try to push the truck, whatever it may be. But I always thought the Pokemon lab was very creepy. That, and you know, classically when you hear the, what is it, Lavender Town theme, like I feel like that just instills like a creepy energy in and of itself. But I was never really like, I don't know, I wasn't really into the creepypastas. I do remember there was that classic like OG, like it was like the cursed Pokemon Yellow. It was like a black cart. I don't know if it was like it was like a classic creepypasta, but it was also like I think it also was like a copy paste kind of thing too. I don't know. I'm really scratching the depths of my memories, just scraping out the OG creepypastas that I remember of Pokemon. Also, like, when games just, like, didn't perform properly back in the day, it was always, like, really eerie. Like, a lot of N64 games, if you had any, like, sort of, like, cartridge tilt, you would have, like, really weird effects happen, like music, like, stack on top of it, or things along those lines. I kind of miss the era of, like, jank video games making for, like, weird aesthetics. I think of games like Glover for the N64. Glover for the N64 has, like, such like a creepy aesthetic to it. That's the definition of a jank game, though. Bring back PlayStation 1 era dithering, please. The way that, like, the polygonal models were. Hypno's Lullaby. Wait, was that the name of it? The cart? Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, creepy. So the story goes, he's the main antagonist of the creepypasta Hypno's Lullaby. He's a psychic Pokemon capable of hypnotizing young children, as well as adults, before leading them to his home, where he supposedly kills/tortures them. Oh, there's a lot. I'm not reading all this, but I want to get the history of it. Do a deep dive on the creepypastas of the Pokemon world. Another thing, too, that, like, newer Pokemon games don't do. Well, I mean, they did it a little bit in Scarlet and Violet. But, like, because they don't do, like, I don't know. I'm gonna be very critical of Papa Pikachu here, alright? Their world building has been dog shit since, like, generation, like, I don't know, 6, 7. Oh, no! Excuse me, 7, 8? I can't say those numbers together. But yeah, no, like, Generation 6, like, it just felt, I don't know, like, I stopped caring about the story, and I don't know if that's because I got older, or if because they were kind of slacking on the story, you know, the story department. Like, Gen 9 was fun, but, like, I really wanted more, like, Scooby-Doo action from, like, the team that you got, like, you have your team, you know? Of friends. What's her name? Like, Nimona and the kid. What about the old man in Vermilion City with his Machop? That dude with the Machop, like, pounding down, like, so I always thought that there would be some, like, time-based event that would make it so that, like, that building got built, you know? And I know, like, on early, like, game facts, there was a lot of nonsense about that thing. About that, like, you know, that old man and the Machop. I think in this game, when you go over and you talk to him, there's, like, a little screen effect of, like, the screen shaking and stuff. I feel like there's a lot with Gen 1, too. And, like, I would be surprised if there isn't also, like, some creepypasta stuff about, like, Missing No. Or Missing Number, however you want to pronounce it. Because the notion of that glitch Pokemon is so freaky. It is wild how much Snorlax just clears through Pokemon. His attack stat is obscene. Blue's Tears? Is it like Misty's Tears? I think that's the name of the Pokemon card. Yeah, Misty's Tears. It's the Gooner Pokemon card. They changed it in the English version. I'm looking up Blue's Tears right now. A Pokepasta wiki. That's so funny. The fact that there's a whole wiki specifically for this one category of, like, fanfic, I guess is the best way to put it. I just love seeing all, like, the custom cards online that would go along with the creepypastas when they'd be posted to, like, message boards and stuff. And they are always acquired at, like, a flea market, too. It was never, like... They all have very similar beginnings. Some are kind of silly. Kind of silly. I think, though, I really do, I think, like, stuff like that goes to show how creative of a fan base, though, like, Pokemon players are. Because there's a lot of, like, creepypastas and just, like, general underground lore about this series. Beef Man coming through with another 1-hit KO into a Weezing. I think 49 is a high enough level. I don't have to go all the way to 50. That would be kind of, you know, a lot. I'm not going to subject any viewers to an extended period of grinding in this game. Mostly because, like, up until I reach the Elite Four, I shouldn't really need to grind that much. So the opening in this, a teenager buys this blue cartridge, and on the back it says Tears, and he gets it for free, and when he opens up, it's a different game. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but you purchase someone's, or you purchase a cart secondhand with a bunch of weird things on it, like just like a weird array of Pokemon and mail and items just like strewn about. What I think is even wilder is when people like give up a cart or a game where they were like right about to beat the Elite Four, or they were like, you know, they hit one roadblock and they just gave up. Alright, so this is the last match with Beefman for a minute, because I had to go re-up on some PP points. There's one called Lost Silver. Sounds like they lost some, like, money for real. Are you just totally scrolling through all the creepypastas you could find right now? I gotta find the name of the one that, like, the OG one that I remember. Yeah, it's Pokemon Black. If you Google Pokemon Black, that cart that shows up, that was like the classic creepypasta that I remember from back in the day. Oh, you knew about Lost Silver. Oh, so it's a game you can play too? It's cool that people make ROM hacks or stuff like that. Wow, that didn't do any damage. Crit? Yeah, crit. I think it's like a 20% chance or something like that for me to crit with this Pokemon. Is it a Gen 2 ROM hack or is it Gen 4? Gen 2. The Gen 2 tile set is so nice, so it's like such an aesthetic. I feel like it does lend itself very much to like a creepy aesthetic. And I don't know if you've ever played through the entirety of like Gold, Silver, or Crystal, but once you reach Mount Silver, the environment is like so weird. It's like very compact and very like layered and very like, it's not like any other part of the map, because Gen 2 is like very open and very like sprawled out. Like the map is kind of like big and empty. And then you reach Mount Silver, and then all of a sudden you're through like these like very thick, like lots of drop down ledges and lots of, you know, tall grass for you to encounter Pokemon in. It really is unlike any other part of the game. Yeah, it's like such a weird map set. And there's like nothing over there. Like, so like as a kid, that game I explored the fuck out of. I had so many like, it felt so incomplete. So like me as a child when I was playing it, I like mentally like was trying to like complete the game. You know, it does feel like very empty, especially once you reach Kanto. Might get a virus. Did you immediately get hit with like a Norton antivirus warning? Do not download when looking at it. All right, this is my last play, like run through of these guys, and then I'm gonna go do the fight. Yeah. Especially as of late, it's because I'm not gonna name the website because I'll probably get like smited down by Comcast just for mentioning its name, but a very nice website that used to be able to get a large amount of free software like ROMs just went down recently, so getting ROMs and ROM hacks online right now is so sketch. I feel like anytime you're downloading something from a website that's like telling you to use a VPN, you might be in some trouble. I was such a little demon child. No VPN, nothing, raw dogging, just absolutely ripping everything off online. But that was also the age of like Napster and LimeWire, where everything was just for free online. Alright, this guy's all fighting types, so cheating clears this really quick. Luckily, because of the boosted XP from the traded Pokemon, this guy is just kind of cooking along XP-wise. Yeah, getting a hand on ROMs nowadays is so much more difficult. Download loads of crap. I feel like it's a pretty shared experience of anyone who, like, you know, had a computer from back then, that they did just indeed inundate it with massive amounts of freeware that may or may not have been, you know, malicious. Windows XP was like the classic, like, when you think of like the green sprawling hills background, you know, the Cupertino background, that's Windows XP. What a classic operating system. How far have we strayed from the light's path? With, what are we on now? Windows 11? I was still running the dial-up setup back then. I'm not gonna lie though, the backgrounds that came with like the base Windows XP were straight heat, not gonna lie. Now if you don't select your background, Windows 11 just like picks you a random background every single day. At least that's the way it is on my work computer. 2009, I'm trying to think. I don't know, so like I was always like, I always feel like I was like a full generation of like not only like operating system but also like video game system behind that of my peers. It might have been Windows 7 in 2000. In fact, I think it was Windows 7 in 2009. I just know that every time the Windows operating system goes up a number, everyone tells me that it's the worst thing ever. But it never is the worst thing ever, but they always tell me it is. Windows 7 was really nice, I will say. It was a nice upgrade from XP. But XP was classic. And then previous to that, I don't even think I had a computer. Well, we had a computer for like a minute that I think my father got for free from his work. And that thing came preloaded with some absolutely dank video games, not gonna lie. The pop-ups would show singles in my area. Oh no. The totally real and totally legit singles in your area looking to meet up. It's so funny. I think one thing that like I will always miss is when like using LimeWire to download some like sketchy version of a song just to hear like the pirater's like name tag in the beginning of the song. That and like key gens from back in the day used to have like the sickest like EDM beats that they put on in the background for the key generators. I was pretty lucky though. It took me a while to fully brick a computer. But the first computer I fully bricked was my girlfriend's laptop back in high school. And she wanted one of the expansion packs for Sims 3. Burning Tepig Tube. Hi, how's it going, brother? Yeah, so we're talking about OG computers and like how jank acquiring things like ROMs or setting up emulators nowadays are. You never used any of that stuff. Yeah. LimeWire was great till it entirely bricked your computer. And it was an inevitability. You bricked your DSi. And it kind of worked. Well, I mean, if it works with a DS card in, you didn't entirely brick it, and that's a dub. I did that to my 3DS back in the day. There was like a really funny process in which you could jailbreak your 3DS by using Pokemon Picross. But I didn't get the memo that I wasn't supposed to update my operating software, and I ended up doing it at one point, and like now I can't even use it for like any online services whatsoever. It's so fucked up. I totally forgot about that. Like pop-ups used to be a problem in online spaces because since like the advent of Adblock and like Adblock Plus or whatever and all those services, I can't even think of the last time I really saw a pop-up. I remember back you get hit with like a tornado of pop-ups, or as I would call it, a pornado of pop-ups that would just like decimate your computer whenever you had some kind of like malware installed. Malware back in the day used to be fun. Now malware just steals your credit card information. Back in the day, you know, they used to do some funny things. Now it's just totally financially driven. But yeah, I bricked my computer trying to download a Sims 3 DLC or something like that. And it was like the dumbest DLC ever. Well, it wasn't even my computer, it was my girlfriend's computer. But it was like a DLC for like, I'm not even joking, I think it was like Katy Perry and Katy Perry related memorabilia that came with, hold on. Katy Perry. Yeah, the DLC was called Showtime Katy Perry's Collector Edition. And Katy Perry's Sweet Treats and Stuff Pack. That's so funny. Yeah, that's what I bricked her computer for. Absolutely decimated it. And I remember it was like we all know the blue screen of death. This was like a red screen. Like I'd never even seen that before. It was like a truly like kernel error type issue I caused in her computer. I was lucky. She spared my life that day. She wasn't even mad. And what was so funny, the computer was trying to tell me so hard not to install whatever it was. But like, in my infinite quote-unquote knowledge, I thought I knew better. I haven't had any issues like that. Why would it happen now? I got to look really cool and really smart when I reinstalled Windows on her on her laptop. Oh, this was like another thing I was talking about with one of my buddies lately too. There was this like OG website on, like, I mean not OG internet, but StumbleUpon was the name of the website. It would show you like random websites that were like cool. Club Penguin, free Club Penguin. Is Club Penguin still around? I thought they closed it down permanently. I was a RuneScape gamer back in the day. Okay, so there's Club Penguin Island. It's a Disney-related game. I did not know that. Yeah, I'll say the original closed in, it says in 2017 here. And then they have Club Penguin. This has to be just like a shell of its former self, right? There was also, really funny back in the day, there was Neopets. But not so funny. I think Neopets was run by like Scientologists or some shit. Don't quote me on that. It was either Scientologists or it was Mormons that ran Neopets. Hold on. Neopets. There's no official connection. Yeah, also there was a connection with Scientology, apparently, too. Yeah, they sold the majority stake of Neopets to the primary investor and CEO, Doug Doering, a prominent member of the Church of Scientology. Yeah, so for a brief moment, Scientology owned Neopets. Neopets versus Pokemon? I think that is like Coughing Baby versus Hydrogen Bomb. Now, the question is, who's the Coughing Baby here? No, I never got to really play Neopets, not gonna lie, because I think it was a paid service. I think that's why I gravitated toward things like RuneScape, where it was like totally free to play for the most part. But I do remember from Neopets, there was some like... There was a lot of like... I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of gotcha mechanics in Neopets. I do remember that. Like what Neopet you got was like a gotcha mechanic. You go into download sketchy Neopet skin. And, oh, this is another thing too. I actually saw, I don't know who the creator was. It was a video recently on Neopets and like Neopet, like black market trades and stuff. Apparently it's like really sketchy. Did I ever play Fantage? I did not play that. I'm not Fantage. Hold up. I might get cooked by this, Machop, but I have to look this up. This looks like, very Club Penguin-y, but also reminds me of like, this was the OG IMVU spelt like this. And I know we all saw the classic like it was like always like a banner ad on like every website for it. But I don't even know if that was a game. I think that might have been just like a platform for like, I think it was just like a Barbie dress-up type game as far as I know. Maybe chat room. There were a lot of like games back in the day of like early internet that like weren't really games, that were just like chat rooms. Wizard 101? No, I never played Wizard 101. But I think, I did a recent like little deep dive into this game. Apparently the game is like way more complex than like I ever gave it credit as a child. Like it is like a real deal MMORPG with like an in-depth combat system and like actual like high-level gameplay type shit to it. Which like from Wizard 101 is crazy, because like back in the day I'm like, oh, this is a baby game, or like that's how I qualified it, you know. I think I was like 13 when it came out. Hold on, what was its release date? I think it's wicked funny, like, and I know, I'm not saying we all went through this, but I definitely went through this. Yeah, 2008, so I was like 12 when it came out, yeah, like 13. But we all went through this. We were like, I'm too cool for XYZ thing. I would just play Plants vs. Zombies. When did that one come out? Early iPhone games are also like super, like they're like cryptids, you know what I mean? Like there's no way to go back and access those old iPhone games. Definitely like a lot of candidates out there from those like early phone games for like Lost Media. Lost Media anything is always really interesting. Like, you know, I remember one thing I saw recently online was about like them trying to find the tile set for the Metal Mario skin in Mario 64. And it turns out that the texture effect for Metal Mario was actually just like a morphed image of a pink flower. It's like really interesting. You think more games would be MMO style now, but they feel kind of off. But then again, I mostly play Nintendo games. Well, different world that you don't know about. Oh, I was talking about this today at work with one of my coworkers. We kind of live in a period of time where there's just like so much content and not enough content that like we can grasp as players. You know, it's like really hard to like sit down and play a game for like a decent period of time before the next one comes along. And I also think like, I don't know if this is like a post-COVID thing, but like people are so much less social now than they used to be. So like the MMO style games, like I feel like people kind of creep away from. And like I know with old school RuneScape, you know, there's like this classic ideology of like, you know, it's a multiplayer online game, but you kind of feel like you're playing it alone because no one's goals are ever like the same at the same time. So I don't know why, like, that's my reasoning as to why I don't think like games are so MMO anymore. But I really think Pokemon has room for like that kind of play style, you know, like you could almost like treat the competitive side as the game and like have an MMO side as like a single player experience and have it be really good. But they just like haven't done that. All right, that's my TED Talk. Papa's Pizzeria? Or any types of Papa's Pizzeria. I was also thinking about, this was really funny the other day too, like old Flash games. Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly, yeah. This was exactly the type of shit I was like reminiscing on. This had to have been an old Flash game, right? It looks like a Flash game. Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah, I have online friend making a plugin for Pokemon fan games. My fan will support it's going to be sick with randomization and options even. So, like, I know they have, like, a Pokemon, like, MMO game that's, like, I know it's built on the platform of Minecraft, I think, that I've seen a lot of creators play. But, like, I'm not gonna lie, I like Minecraft, but I like Minecraft as Minecraft. I don't like Minecraft as Pokemon, even though I was talking about earlier in the stream about a Minecraft X Pokemon mod. Henry Stickmin was... What was... Fancy... I remember Henry Stickmin, but I'm trying to... Fancy Pants, I think was the name of it. Or something like that. Yeah, Fancy Pants. It was kind of like a classic platformer. Pixelmon, that's the name of it. You think there's a newer version of it too? The hardest things with MMOs is that, like, the people who start from the beginning end up, like, so leagues beyond people who are, like, just getting their foot in the door that there ends up being, like, a big content gap where it's like you have people who just started and you have people at late game, but you don't really have a lot of people in between. It's kind of like the great filtering, you know? Like, not everyone makes it out of the early game. Which is a really interesting way to put it. Henry Fancy Pants. And then there was this other old Flash game called N or something along those lines. The OG Impossible Quiz! I never completed that back in the day. Speaking of the laptop I bricked, we played the Impossible Quiz on that thing like crazy. Alright, I have to do one more run on these guys. Like, I'm so low leveled for, like, what I'm about to be up against. So, I'm trying to remember, like, where I got stuck in the Impossible Quiz. I remember there was one challenge, like, near the end of the Impossible Quiz where you had to, like, really quickly cut all the toenails on a foot or something like that. And I remember, like, I could never beat that one because I was using a trackpad on my laptop. So I had to, like, you know, I just swiped the trackpad really crazy. I could have been, like, big ball on him, and I could have used, like, a ThinkPad with that little, like, red button in the center. But I didn't have it like that. I was using, like, an HP Pavilion or something. I think that's the name of it, the Pavilion. But yeah, it was the HP Pavilion, but from, like, 2006. That thing weighed, like, a crazy amount. And if you left that laptop in your lap for too long, it would absolutely fry your manhood. It was like you were sitting in front of a fire for 45 minutes. And then, like, I'm trying to think. There was another challenge, too, that I know I got stuck on a lot in the Impossible Quiz. But it was the I'm a fire in my laser one, where you have to, like, click on the dude. And I'm sure everyone remembers that classic meme. In fact, I gotta use it in a video now. Yeah, Impossible Quiz was great. There was N, which was like the Way of the Ninja. That got a full release game on the Xbox 360, though, I believe. Have I ever been the person to burn CDs? Not only was I the person to burn CDs, I also would make mixtapes, and that was like, this is like giga cringe, and such like a telling thing of the times. But if I was trying to court someone, right? You got to make them a mixtape, you know. You got to show them your feelings on that mixtape, you know. Show her that you know the cool tunes, you know. I feel though like back in the day, because the internet wasn't like super widely used, music was kind of like a social currency. Early Minecraft, not only was it like I just got chills thinking about it when you brought that up. That's so funny, because OG Minecraft was such a vibe. Not only was the game, like, really new, it was free, and, like, well, I'm thinking more of, like, alpha versions, and the games were just, like, empty. So you, like, hop onto a world, and it was just, like, so unbelievably creepy. There was, like, nothing in it. Like, you don't know how to burn CDs? Honestly, nowadays, I think I have a... You have to buy a CD drive. You have to have a CD drive to write on them. And, like, the CDs that you would write on were always so jank, and they had such, like, a low storage space. They'd be, like... I'm not even gonna lie. I think they'd be, like, 8 megabytes. I might be mixing that up with floppy disks, but I think... No, they were, like, 512 megabytes is what they were. So you could only fit, like, a handful of songs on them. But it's just the same as putting in a CD drive and running it. Now, I do remember this, that, like, some kids who were, like, really fancy and, like, were, like, obsessed with music, they would have their own CD drives that they could also, like, write. Like the CD drive, like, would, like, print on top of the CD, like, an image that you would print. So, like, my cousins who were from, like, New York, like, the city, I remember they used to, like, when they'd visit us, they'd bring us all these, like, bootleg games and, like, DVDs and stuff that always had these, like, janky CDs with, like, whatever it was, like, printed on it, like, Chantilly by whatever, you know, CD burner they had. Yeah, that probably would write as long... I mean, it should be able to write if you wanted to. The thing is like, finding something that actually takes a CD nowadays is so hard. Like, I think my car is a 2010. And, like, I think it's weird that my 2010 car has a CD drive. You know, like, it was already getting out of that range at that point. I'm gonna hyperfang here. I just gotta make sure I don't accidentally, like, AFK brain kill my Raticate. CD drives are rare nowadays because the way that, like, tech design and computer design is now, everything's so slim. We can thank Apple for that, but everything is so, like, giga slim that, like, there's no room for CD drives in laptops anymore. And, like, they used to be standard when you'd buy a computer tower or, like, a computer case. I don't know what else you call the box that you put your computer in, but they used to come standard with that too. For a phone, so back in the day, I was LG. So, like, everyone remembers the, what was it? The Razor. So I was really cool. I was such a hipster back. I was like, this is like 7th grade, mind you. I was such a hipster. I didn't want the Razor. I'd have the Crazer, which was like, oh wait, no, it was Motorola. It wasn't even LG. Yeah, Crazer. K-R-Z-R was how they spelt it. Terrible, terrible, terrible phone. That thing broke, like, within, like, a month of me having it. But, like, going back in the day, I would have loved... Oh, no, not a BlackBerry. It's the Sidekick. And the Sidekick, you'd hit it and it'd, like, flip open. I can't, like, all the rappers had it and stuff. It was really cool. That was the phone you wanted. And then by the time, like, 2012 came around, nobody had a Sidekick. And if you had a Sidekick, it was kind of like a yikes kind of thing. It's weird how we attribute so much status to such a, like, a worthless piece of equipment. You know, a Sidekick. Alright, on to Wheezing. This is just a clean 2-shot. $5S. That is like a dinosaur. Like, when it comes to a phone. I remember the 5C back in the day, like the plastic iPhone. So, like, when I first wanted an iPhone, you know, I was broke as a joke. I was paying for it myself. So, like, I couldn't afford the $800 like fancy iPhone 5 at the time. I got the 5C, and I think it was like $250. But that phone truly was a piece of shit. This was the last like iPhone that you could get at a reasonable price, I feel like. Yeah, it was $200 for the iPhone 5C back in the day, which is crazy because like I said, I think the regular like 5 or whatever it was like crazy expensive. You think the iPhone X is when they started making the 1K? The thing is though, once they went over that 1K mark, it was like they could always do that, you know? It's sort of like once they start making $70 video games, everyone's going to start making $70 video games. I have an iPhone right now. I do not like it as like a phone. Mostly because like everything on that phone is tied behind you being like logged into your Apple account. And so like there's so many like services inside of that phone that are just like completely go defunct once it updates. And this is a little bit on me, so this is a little bit of user error, but my Apple ID password is so incredibly long and difficult for me to type in that every time I have to retype it in, I'm cooked. You're still watching your PS... Are you watching me on the PS3 Slim right now? That's actually insane that the YouTube app still works on the PS3. Honestly, that would be legendary if this is being played on a PS3 Slim right now. Like, that's like practically a compliment. All right, I gotta go back. One more run. See, I can't even turn on my PS4 without my whole room sounding like there's a jet engine in it. It is so loud. I believe it. 40% of the PS4 base still being active when the PS5 is still, what, $500? And, like, I think only recently they stopped making PS4 games, like, first-party PS4 games. Like, only recently. Now, like, I don't own a PS5, not because, like, well, not because I couldn't get one, because there's nothing on it to sell me the console, you know? I got a Switch 2 because I'm Nintendo pilled, but I got a Switch 2 because I wanted 60 FPS Pokemon, but the PS5 didn't offer, like, anything that I couldn't get from either my computer or another console. Just bought a PS4 Slim last week. It's kind of bad. It was $109. But, like, the thing is it works, like, with so many modern games still, too. Like, wait. What was the last game for the PS4? There's 3,500 PS4 games. That's crazy. I think, like, I'm a little bit biased because I was a PS4 gamer during the era. I thought that was the best home console video game I ever purchased. Black Ops 7 is on the PS4? That is so insane. Oh, God. So I can play Black Ops 7 with my boys. That's pretty cool. You just play Madden 16 on it and other Madden-like games. I mean, as long as you're not trying to, like, connect to the internet, I think you're totally fine, right? The PS4 servers, I know didn't they just announce when they were going to take them down? They have not announced a shutdown for the PS4 servers. Okay, that's really cool. I mean, they really can't because, like, not only is there so many people still playing it, but, like, anyone who's price locked out of a PS5 is still playing their PS4, you know? So for PlayStation to, like, get rid of those servers, they would be abandoning that, like, one core audience. And that's, like, they can't do that. Start playing the PS4 in 2017. When did the PS4 come out? Because I remember when the PS4 came out, it was right around the time of the release of that movie called The Interview with Seth Rogen, where they, like, go over to, like, North Korea. And then, like, I know North Korea, like, Giga DDoSed Sony for like 6 months after the fact. Playing the PS4, you know, Fortnite on it, which kind of start fresh. So I love Fortnite's a fun game. It's a good party game, you know, like to run around like with your boys in Fortnite, just like, you know, joking around is always a good time. I mean, the system is surrounded by the internet. Doubt the PS4 servers go down anytime soon. It took forever for 3 to go down, and plus the internet was so different then. Yeah, and like. I think the PS4 also, like, in regards to the PS3 servers going down, like, did a good job of fulfilling the role of the PS3. You know, like, you could just hop right onto the PS4 and it felt like a pretty good transition. The PS4 to PS5 is, like, rough right now. I think Fortnite was the last game I played on my PS4, to be honest. But this is so long ago. Back then, like, when I was playing it, it was still like Star Wars stuff, I believe, on Fortnite. It's been a while. One more KO and he'll be 49. Yeah, the PS4 was funny because like right upon release, you like couldn't even play games on it. It was so rough. The PS4 servers were just junk because of the North Korea DDoSing. Thing is, if they could figure a way for backwards compatible games to work on PS5 servers, maybe it would make sense. It's like PS4 games, PS5 servers. I see what you're saying. Like, make it so that like they can kind of use the same resources, so they can keep the game or keep the console still, you know, still in the same space. When you open up the Xbox 360, have an Xbox Live, it shows an ad to get the Xbox Series X and S. That's so funny. I haven't even seen what like an Xbox home screen, like 360, looks like in so long. I kind of want to get one now. It was so nostalgic. And I also think they're like pretty easy to jailbreak. But the biggest issue with the Xbox 360 was the fact that they were like so fragile. They did just like pack so much hardware into such a small chassis. Still not worth it, the PS5. I feel that. The one thing that kind of had me like wanting to get it was Ratchet and Clank. But then I saw the gameplay of the Ratchet and Clank game, and it kind of just looked like Unreal Engine slop. The Guy game, I have heard of the Guy game. I don't own, I collect a lot of games. I don't own that one. But whenever it gets posted online into like any like collecting circle, instantly they get flamed. Yeah, that game was it was like a trivia game, like strip poker type trivia game. Girls Gone Wild mix up, from at least from what I understand of it. It never quite made an appearance on the PlayStation. Was it the PlayStation Store? They revamped so many games from the PlayStation 2 era. That game is not getting a revamp anytime soon. I do know it's pretty rare for the PS2 though. Probably because like a lot of them do just straight up get destroyed because it is just like... it didn't get banned. It, like I said, because it does have like sea salmon in some way, shape, or form. It is like... I don't know, I feel like it's one of those games where like even owning it is kind of like in a gray area. You know? But it's very much like a Giga Taboo game. I've never seen it at any like retro video game stores or anything like that. Yeah, one of the participants in the like the Girls Gone Wild aspect was underage, so the game got like shit canned Giga. Which is like actually very much on brand for what happened to the actual Girls Gone Wild brand. I think they got like Giga sued for the same thing or similar ideas. I don't know. Anything like that's kind of icky, you know. I like, especially like, I'm of like this, like the stern belief that like, you know, graphic materials as such shouldn't really be interchanged with a video game because like, it kind of like associating things of sexual nature with things of like playful game nature is kind of like, I don't know. Thinking about it in a Pavlovian sense, it seems very icky. We're not letting roll out on Beefman. Alright, so that's Beefman to level 49. But yeah, I think there's a couple games of like in a similar category as that. There was like You Don't Know Jack, I think was the name of it, for the PS1. That was like the first iteration of like this like, you know, vulgar comedy trivia game. I don't know how else to put it. But that one got a PlayStation 1 like demo disc. Big fan of the army strategy games. So the only like real army strategy game I ever, well, I played a couple of them. That's a lie. I played a couple of them. One of them I played was this game called Making History. And my experience with it was really funny. It was mostly when I was at school, at high school. For some reason, they had a, you know, civilization type game called Making History on my school computers. And as long as you were on like any computer attached to the network, you could access it in like a shared file and play it. So that was like my first foray into like you know, civilization type games. But I also really enjoyed the SOCOM series on the PlayStation Portable, which was sort of like you'd control like a squad of like Navy SEALs, and you'd be given like a task, and you would like control the squad into different locations. I was not forced to play the Oregon Trail. We had a different game when I was in elementary school called Math Blasters. Yeah, Math Blasters. This game, actually, the intro to it, gave me nightmares as a kid. It's like this really, really like ephemeral like CG with like really weird animation on top of it. You're number 3 Oregon Trail ranking in one of them. Wait, can you high score in Oregon Trail? Ooh, I gotta get rid of something for Drill Peck. Drill Peck is so OP. That's so OP. Wowee. I'm like never going for Fury Attack. See, I always thought Oregon Trail was sort of like, just like gambling, but with extra steps. Math Blasters, really bizarre game. Obviously math related, but like, yeah, the villain of the game is this like a goop monster, and like, it's like very like, I don't know how else to put it other than like, it's like very vor-y, it's very gross intro, and it like wigged me out as a kid. He like takes control of a robot and he like mind controls them, and you have to like rescue the robot through math. Very educational. Snail Bob? Play a game called Snail Bob? This kind of reminds me of like some Pajama Sam type game. Were you forced at gunpoint to play that in elementary school as well? Or is that just... There were so many old, like, educational games that existed on computers. I always thought it was really funny because, like, I was always very honest. I didn't really get much out of those games. Oh, you just play at your house? Is that it looked like another classic Flash game. It's so sad that Adobe doesn't. It's not educational. Well, okay. I made this argument before in the past where, like, if a game is puzzling and difficult enough that it makes you think in such a way that it challenges you, I would argue that it educates you in some way, shape, or form. Right? Especially when it comes down to, like, puzzle games, you know, that, like, can be very, you know, like a Sudoku. I'm not saying, like, Sudoku, but, like, Sudoku's a puzzle game. It makes you smarter when you play it. Chess is a lot that way, in my opinion. I also grew up with, like, the classic, they're not necessarily educational games, but Freddy Fish. Absolute banger of a point-and-click adventure game for children. Freddy Fish, the, what is it? It's like a detective. You're like a detective fish or some shit. Once again, scratching deep memories trying to remember this game. Hold on a sec. My gut tells me my battery is about to die on my camera. There's this other game I played called Red Ball 4. It was like a platformer. I feel like I remember this one. Because I feel like the Red Ball game was like a series. Yeah, okay, I do remember this. It was like a puzzle platform, right? I remember you had to, like, loop them around, and, like, it was almost like kind of like playing pool or something like that. Could you bounce? I don't know. There's so many, like, funky old games like that, like Bubble Trouble. But I think Bubble Trouble is just like a ripoff of, like, a SNES game. Honestly, I think a lot of the Flash games we played back in the day were kind of rips off of SNES games, but, you know, brilliance inspires brilliance. Platformers as a genre, you, like, just don't see quality versions of anymore. And, like, of the games that, like, are good platformers, people are obsessed with. You think about, like, Hollow Knight or Celeste, Shovel Knight. Like, all of those games people are obsessed with. It's crazy. Cut the Rope? Oh, I remember that one. It was kind of, okay, yeah. That was like that was one of the OG phone ones too. There was this really funny old game. I don't think I actually have a copy of it anymore in my collection, but it was called The Incredible Machine. And, like, I don't know if you're familiar with what a Rube Goldberg machine is, but a Rube Goldberg machine is a very complex machine that achieves a very simple process. So you think of, like, all those, like, memes of, like, those guys who built those machines where it's like a marble goes down a track that hits a domino, that dominoes down, that hits a book, that dominoes down, and then, like, you know, somehow makes toast at the end of it. You know, there's like a lot of classic, like, you know, clickbait videos like that online too. But the whole point of the game was, like, you build a Rube Goldberg machine to perform a simple task. So you get given all these, like, physics objects, and you build, like, you know, a world around it to solve the puzzle. It's a very interesting game. Very old game, though, too. Like, I want to say, like when I was a kid and I was playing it, it was, like, old. But yeah, old physics-based game like that were, like, so sick. Marble race, stuff like that. Yeah, so, like, those, like, marble race things or, like, anything like that, those are kind of like Rube Goldberg-y. If that's, like, even, like, an identifiable term that can be used. Alright, I need one more level for Sus. I don't even, like, really need one more level for him, but I might get it before I clear these 4, so. YouTube was such a weird platform back in the day. Like, if you go back to, like, Wayback Machine screenshots of what, like, YouTube looked like in 2010, it looks so ugly, comparatively speaking. It looks like an HTML shanty website. Like, it looks like you'd get malware from it. And then there was, like, the classic OG, like, YouTube videos. I mean, as a Pokemon player, we all remembered Smosh's Pokemon theme song. Started watching YouTube in 2015. See, like, I didn't even consider it, like, a valid entertainment avenue when I was younger. My brother was, like, more into, like, you know, like, online stuff like that back then. So, like, he was always watching, like, you know, playthroughs and things like that. I think the problem is like back then, the most popular YouTubers were like PewDiePie, you know, like who is someone who isn't really gonna, I'll be real, that's not someone who I personally can relate or enjoy watching. Yeah, but OG YouTube, even like the old skits and stuff, it's a special kind of cringe when you go back and watch it. It's awesome. It's like karmic punishment, you know? It's like holding up a mirror. You gotta remember who you once were. Him using smokescreen here, this wheezing, is like so annoying. It like absolutely stifles XP gain when I miss. I don't think I'm leveling up from these ones. Yeah, OG YouTube is funny. There was that. There was like old Smosh, I remember. And then there was like, I remember this classic. It was like 6th grade. Cunningham Muffins. I can't even watch it now without like my body just like shuddering. You know, like my ego shrivels. I'm embarrassed for my past self. You're a big fan of WWE wrestling and would watch this YouTuber called Willpower who would play like 2K WWE wrestling games. Those games are funny though. I'm not gonna lie. One of my buddies, we're gonna go back and do like maybe like a let's play of one like the OG ones from back in the day. Annoying orange. Oh, here's one. This is a deep cut. You remember Fred? Now, I'm not proud that I remember this reference because this dude got a TV show on Nickelodeon based off his YouTube channel. Absolutely deranged. The Nickelodeon execs were like actually smoking rocks when they gave that kid a movie and a TV show. I'm gonna hit you with another deep cut. There was this weird series of like, what was it? It was like a claymation thing. It was like, I'll figure it out later. It was like these like claymation dudes. It was a really OG like early internet thing. I don't even think it was on YouTube. It was like before YouTube was big enough to like actually garner people going to it all the time. Ever watched the Fred movie with John Cena? I have not. I love John Cena, though. I'm a huge John Cena fan. That's so funny. And not even from wrestling, to be honest. I just love the dude. Yeah. I like him better as an actor than a wrestler, to be honest. That's actually my skin on Fortnite right now is John Cena. But no, I never did watch the final. I never watched any of the Fred stuff. It's funny how like target demographics line up. Like Fred was for like a demographic like 2 or 3 years younger than me. Like I know like kids my brother's age were like obsessed with that. But I was like, why is this funny? I don't get it. But also, my sense of humor back in the day was I was such like an edgy, brooding edgelord that like I couldn't admit anything was funny unless it was also cool. It was so bad. Oh no. But John Cena's the GOAT, so. Welcome to stream. For anyone who's just checking out, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. It helps the stream out a ton. Definitely helps with visibility, and you know, seeing that number go up for your boy always feels good. I'm gonna do like 1 or 2 more battles, and then I'm taking on both Giovanni and my rival, yeah. Yeah, John Cena's funny because he's done so many like weird cameos in so many random TV shows. Like there's this old detective agency show from like 2010s called Psych, and he plays a recurring character on that. He played a zombie game called Earn to Die. It's still active, actually. That's so funny. Yeah, Earn to Die is still an active game, like the OG one. And you can play it on their website today. That is actually so funny. I love to see stuff like that. When niche communities get built around like random obscure games, it's nice. So you played Plants vs. Zombies and Earn to Die, so you're a zombie gamer, it seems like. I, back in the day, was a huge fan of the original Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. Like Kino der Toten and, what was the other one? 5. Please tell me you played those, because those were like... Those were my shit. So my level cap is 50. So I can reach level 50. I'm going to clear these guys and go to the gym. You play those? So I just recently, so like I was like, oh, I had like the nostalgia. Like I was like, ooh, I gotta play those games. I went to go repurchase them. They were $60 on Steam still, which is insane. It was my favorite Pokemon game. Oh god. So okay, so just raw, like I pick it up fresh out the box. Pokemon Emerald, I think, is just phenomenal. It has all my favorite Pokemon in it. I think the pacing's really good. I think them giving you the option to use Rayquaza before the Elite Four is nice, even though you don't have to. You know, like there's a lot about those games that are just really fun. And I think the greater number of double battles from Ruby and Sapphire is really great. Plus more story mode. I don't know. I love Emerald. Emerald's really great. But if it's not like, if I'm not including that, I think the second playthrough, like the challenge mode run of Pokemon Black and White 2, like once you beat the game, you can reset your game and do like a challenge mode run. That challenge mode run is so much fun. It is like, honestly, the best Pokemon is in a single player experience in my opinion, but there's also, yeah, I gotta say that. So Emerald's number 1, and then Black and White 2, the challenge mode, is my number 2. 5 is the one with JFK, guys. And 5 is really funny because in that map, you get to quote all the dead presidents and stuff and like be really funny and like, they should put my face on the silver dollar. And that's what like JFK says and stuff like that. It's wicked fun. Light RP while playing that map is hilarious. What about you, Aiden? What's your favorite Pokemon game? I'm gonna be real. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say Gen 6 is their favorite gen. So if you say Gen 6, I'll be blown away. Don't get me wrong. I like the Pokemon from Gen 6. Black 2. Yeah. So it's really funny. When Black and White first came out, people loved it. But I was like, so, like, I loved using all my Pokemon from the previous games. And I loved, like, you know, I loved building a team around the Pokemon I knew and then including some new picks. But that game's like soft reset of the series made me so salty when I played it. 5 and 6. Well, I mean, obviously it's like when you start playing too that like you're gonna be attracted to the like I'm so pilled when it comes to Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald because like that was like the first game I really played from the series. Stickman fighting game called Electric Man? There were so many Stickman fighting games. There was also this like really funny one. Okay, very similar to this game called, I think it was called Stick RPG. Yeah, Stick RPG. It's 17, no, it was released 23 years ago. That's actually crazy. A Stick RPG was like a sick Flash game. We have Gen 5 and 6. That's funny. Another one that is very rarely said as people's favorite is Gen 7. But I feel like as you get newer, like, what is going to be really funny is in a couple years when, like, we're going to be encountering people who are like, yeah, my first video game, Pokemon game I ever played was Pokemon Sword. You know, like, it's going to be weird when, like, those are the people playing the game. I think it was made in 2007. Oh, no PP left. I'm going to try attack here. This is my last time I have to fight through these guys. To be honest, Electric Band looks like a very honest attempt at, like, a real deal fighting game. Because I was looking at the moves and stuff. It was like high kick, low kick, blocked. And then, like, they had a stance switch in the game. That's pretty funny. It makes me feel old. The black and white is the and black and white 2. Not like 2, like black and white 2, but like TOO. Black and white TOO was like such a hard reset for the series. And like so many people that grew up with those games are like, this is the greatest thing ever. And like when I went back to replay through the series like a couple years ago, I had so much fun playing through those. In fact, it was really funny. I had such like a non-competitive team that by the time I reached the Elite Four, I was like struggling bad. That Elite Four is so difficult. Because don't you have to fight Getsis as part of the Elite Four? And I think if you lose to Getsis or whatever, you have to restart the Elite Four. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I played this. But I remember the Elite Four being just brutal. Grimsley, Caitlyn, Marshall, Alder. Yeah, but you don't fight Alder the first time, right? Yeah, instead of Alder, you gotta fight that guy. And that guy is crazy, because he's got, like, level 70 Zekrom or Reshiram, depending on your version. Yeah, that caught me so off guard. I was stuck on that for, like, 2 weeks. I had to grind up levels on my whole team, and I'll be real, I was kind of memeing. I was maining Pheasantipity for that run. It was not good. First game you watched was Pokemon Alola series and Beyblade Burst 2. Dude, so, what's really funny is I never liked the Beyblade anime, but I loved Beyblade the game. I still have like, hold on. I still have like tons and tons of all my old Beyblades. It's really funny. Years ago, I was talking about with my buddies. I'm like, we could do a Beyblade stream. You get N and Getsis? No, you get healed up between them at one point, right? Okay. Beyblade is heat. Now, I have no opinion on this because I didn't even know it was a thing till recently. What the fuck is Bakugan? Byakugan. Like, what is that game? Because like okay, you do get healed. That's fun. Zinzolin? What is even that? Alright, we're going to Viridian City. It is almost time. Oh my god! That's a big body! Wowee! I'm not gonna lie, though. The fit of Getsis is kind of sick. Like, he's a really cool-looking villain. I'm not gonna lie. Him and... who's the guy from Gen 4? Cyrus. Cyrus is also really badass. Byakugan is like both Pokemon and Beyblade, kind of. You remember? More like a knockoff. I saw people playing it, like it was in like a TikTok or something recently, and they were like, it looked really chaotic. Like it looked like they weren't really in control of what was actually happening in their game. You know, I'm not gonna pretend like when you play with Beyblades that you have any control of what's going on. You really just let it rip, you know? But I was saying, like, when I play with those, like with my like brother or whatever, whoever's over here, when you pull a Beyblade with like real deal, like adult level strength, they are explosive. Like, I think I've broken like 3 or 4 of them, just like smashing them together at giga high speeds. I genuinely don't think that they were, you know, built to be, you know, ripped at that level. You know, I don't think they can handle the torque. Alright, I'm gonna go run right up to Giovanni, and then I'm gonna run to the bathroom before I do this battle. Let's see if I can remember the puzzle. That is just simply incorrect. And like, I think I defeated everyone, yeah? Yeah, I did defeat everyone. Okay, that's actually like really simple. You just walk through it. That's so funny. Alright, I love saving right before a gym battle because it doesn't matter. It's a Nuzlocke. If I lose, I lose. Anyways, I'll be right back. I'm gonna hit the bathroom, and then we'll be on to the old... The big battle, the big bad of the night. BRB. Be back, fellas. Alright, the faithful return. Alright, this is big boss time for the night. Giovanni. What do you think? Creepy Pokemon music, Lavender, Ruins of the Alph, Old Chat 2, or Enzru? So I love Lavender Town, and mostly because it's one of the few songs I can actually play on the piano. But also because it's just like such a vibe, and it's like the second you walk into the town, it's just like, it's like silent, you know? And it comes in with that, you know, the doo-doo-doo, you know, like real quiet. It's so good. End's Room is also really good. I do like Ruins of the Alph, but Ruins of the Alph is, Ruins of the Alph is more like chiptune-y to me. IMHO. Alright, so this is the big boss, Giovanni. This battle, I think, really does just come down to my beefy, modest Kangaskhan taking out his whole team. My only fear is both his Nidoking and Nidoqueen, like, don't die. They're just, like, so chonky. And they both have double kicks. So, I'm a believer. He leads Rhyhorn. So, we want Rhyhorn led. I actually think I'm going to go... Yeah, so I think how it's going to go is it's going to go Ganucci. And then I'm going to have to swap to, like, Sus or Chiding to eat up a double kick to finish them off. And then I think BXD probably cleans up the rest of the match. Would you do a team of Unknown in Pokemon Crystal versus the Elite Four? What would I do to a team of Unknown? So what's really funny is Unknown, I believe, they only learn Hidden Power, right? So like, you know, you have to work around what the Hidden Power is. So in Gen 2, its power varies from 30 to 70. So basically, you would want to make sure that your whole team of Unknowns are hitting for the max power Hidden Power. The only thing is I don't think you can beat the Elite Four because you can't beat Karen. So I think you'd just be like hard stuck at Karen. That's my guess. That's my interpretation of what an Unknown team. I called it. I knew my camera battery was going to die. I wasn't stalling because I'm scared of Giovanni. I was stalling because I was scared of my battery dying. That's so funny. My gut told me it was coming. Alright, we're back, baby. But yeah, I think Unknown and Pokemon Crystal have a rough time. They have a better time in later iterations of the game. Alright, we're back. Camera's back. I'm starting the match. Shall be so until I can restore Team Rocket to its former glory. But you have found me again, so be it. This time I'm not holding back. Once more you shall face Giovanni, the greatest trainer. What's funny is, why hold back when you're held up in Silphco Tower and you're making your big play, you know? Why save it for this? Smeargle's your favorite Gen 2 Pokemon? I love Smeargle. Okay, I love him. I also hate him. In VGC, total menace. But his stats are so bad, and especially in Gen 2, you don't have the ability Moody, and you don't have the ability Technician, so all of his moves are terrible. Alright, so this is really simple. I have Ganucci out. You gotta fake out turn 1. If you're not faking out turn 1, I don't know what you're doing. It's totally unnecessary, though, because Surf, I believe, just straight up Okos. Smeargle's fun because he learns every move, and he's cute, you know? Unfortunate his bait stat total is just so abysmally bad. But you can do, like, funny things like lock on Sheer Cold or, like, lock on Horn Drill. I do believe Surf does more here. This Pokemon does have a very high special defense. Yeah. We'll try a Strength next. Okay, Earthquake isn't bad. I don't want Body Slam. Earthquake we can tank. Yeah. And because I'm faster, I can tank a crit on the next one. Oh. So this is when it starts to get a little hairy. We surf here all day. I still believe Cubone is just a Kangaskhan who lost his mother. I'm still a believer on that. Okay, so he used a full restore. He's got an Earthquake here, right? Like, I'm still believe that Cubone is just, yeah, just lost his mom. It's Drill Peck angle. Oh, yeah. Sus does big damage. I got poisoned. That's so terrible. Hit level 50, though, so that's my level cap, technically. I think, per the rules, you're allowed to overlevel in the match. Sus is hurt by poison. Cubone, I think, is my brother's favorite Pokemon. So, yeah, so Scary Face. Once again, I still think I might be faster. You're asking me where Dodrio got head from? Oh. When I was a kid, I thought Dodrio was, like, really OP. Because in Generation 2, there's a trade you can make in the final town. You can trade a Dragonair for a Dodrio. And if you're using the Super Rod, you catch a Dragonair at level 40. And so you trade for a level 40 Dodrio, which is, like, kind of OP. Alright, so I'm going to Water Pulse here. He does have double kick. I am tanky. Oh, he earthquaked. Okay, cool. He's fast. Oh, I did get scary faced. I gotta remember that. Ooh. Does he have double kick? Last thing I googled was hidden powers. Let me back it up a couple. He does have double kick. It must not do the same amount. It must do less. Oh, that's so funny. He full healed instead of doing a move. That confusion is so huge. That actually made this fight so much easier. Because if he double kicks there, like, I think I do risk crit. Alright, this is going swimmingly. And then it's Dugtrio. I don't think anything this thing has KOs me. Even through a crit. Yeah, even through a crit that doesn't KO me. Dugtrio ain't it. What is his attack stat in this generation? Yeah, that definitely KO'd. I thought regular Dugtrio had, like, decent attack. It's only 80? Oh! I guess in random battles, his level is so boosted. I love that lore, though. He does look so perfectly like the Ghost of Clefairy. Gengar, that is. And Gengar's one of my favorites in this generation, too. Being that I am a lover of the deep, dark, and brooding Pokemon. So there goes Giovanni. Actually, like, I got bailed out by the confusion on Water Pulse. Otherwise, I did, like, kind of have to risk a crit. Because double kick kind of shreds my team. Giovanni is, like, the last, like, scary user fighting type moves I have to deal with before I fight Bruno in the Elite Four. And Bruno is going to be a demon. Honestly, I have no clue what Houndoom's supposed to be based off of. He does kind of remind me of like a classic like Hellhound, like D&D style Hellhound. But he's like such like it's so weird like the ribs. It almost reminds me of like a Day of the Dead kind of like Sugar Skull looking creature because he's got those like weird like white lines. You know, it kind of reminds me of like I almost spelled skeleton. Almost like a Day of the Dead skeleton. I don't know. That's just the vibe I get a little bit, but like not really. I mean, a little bit. He was designed back in Gen 2 when like they were really limited by sprite design. So it's like, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what they were going for. He gives Earthquake. That's huge. Oh, who's Poison? I do not want to lose anything to Poison. The first Pokemon I lost in this run was to a Poison, and I like couldn't make it back to the PC. I tried absolutely everything to save Spearow, and Spearow perished. So what's really funny is this game remembers how many steps you're on, so it knows exactly when to give your next poison tick, even if you save it. So my thought was, I'm like, okay, like maybe the poison tick counter is something that's stared and like is like stored in like a local memory, and like shutting the game off resets it. And it's like, nope, you're just gonna eat that. So like I saved the game right before my last step where I knew it was gonna kill my Spearow, and I was like, this is it, this is the test. And it died so unceremoniously. Yeah. So far in the PC, you know, post-match check. I still have Ditto and Persian in the PC and Wigglytuff. Or excuse me, Jigglypuff. Ditto. I gotta name the Ditto. Speaking of which, I gotta name the Ditto. What do I think of this Team Rocket spinning tiles in their base? So in Generation 1, it is the funniest thing ever. I mean, like, it is true. Oh, I put away my flyer. That's so funny. It's like ego death when you step onto them. The amount of time it takes you to, like, travel from one of those, like, spin markers to the stop points is hilarious. But I hate them. I truly hate them. And in the same vein, in Generation 2, once you reach the Rocket base at... I can't remember the name of the town. I think it's Mahogany Town, south of the Lake of Rage. But when you go into the base there, there's like these like alarm steps. I don't know. It's like alternating black and white tiles, and every step initiates a encounter with like a Voltorb or something. And it's like, it's moments like that in Pokemon game are like, it's like ego death when you have to experience them. All right, so this is the last naming session of the playthrough. The Ditto needs a name here. Now we gotta think. This is important. I'm trying to call back to things that were spoken about during this stream thus far. Something stream related. Something stream related. Wow, I'm actually like hitting bedrock when it comes to trying to come up with her name here. Oh, I already know what I'm naming him. Yeah. His name is Glupshido. Wait, what? It didn't let me do that? It won't let me put Shido in its name? Will it let me do just Glup? It really won't let me name it Shido? Glupshido? That's so funny. Whatever. I cannot believe that the name, like, I didn't even know that there was, like, a name filter that, like, I thought I could name it whatever I want in this game. That's so crazy. If you could join any team organization, who would it be? Oh, like Team Yell or Star. I was like, any organization. I'm like, I don't know. I'd want to be like an astronaut or something. Any organization? Oh, dude. The thing is, you can't lie when you say that when we talk about Jesse and James is fit. So, like, barring I could have my own unique fit, like Jesse and James, I think I would want to be Team Rocket. But based off solely vibes alone and swag alone, I think Team Plasma probably. Just because, like I said, the fit that gets, and what was the guy we were talking about earlier? You mentioned his name, like Nilmoy or something. That other dude, their fit, so nice. All right. Zinzolin, yeah. Or Zinzol, I don't know how you'd pronounce it, I'm not. All right, so here comes my final rival fight before I fight him at the champion fight. So his team here is like kind of cooked. So he leads Pidgeot level 47 and his Venusaur is level 53. So Kangaskhan cooks here up front. And I think I have to switch Beefman in on Alakazam or Venusaur. Yeah, I think I got this fight. He has Pidgeot, Rhyhorn, Gyarados, Growl. He still has a Growlithe? That's so funny. Growlithe, Alakazam, and Venusaur. Nothing scary from Venusaur. It's only Psychic Calm Mind from Alakazam that has me spooked, really. And, like, Intimidate from Growlithe also slows me down. Intimidate from Gyarados also slows me down. So, hopefully I can lead Ganucci. I'm leading Ganucci, right? Yeah, I lead Ganucci. And then I swap into Beefman to clean up. Because everything's a special attacker after... This is a rough fight. This is a hard fight. Because I could go up to level cap 60 and make it an easy fight. But there's no entertainment value in that. So, this is the second big bad of the night. I'm going to use Arcanine in the OG Red. So, really cool about Arcanine in the original Gen 1 games. His Pokemon type, whatever, not like he's fire or whatever, but they give him like, you know, this is the, you know, Ekans is the snake Pokemon or whatever. Arcanine is the legendary Pokemon. So, when I was a kid, I always thought Arcanine was legendary. So, Sporg leads out with the Pidgeot. Fake Out's free here into Strength, which should KO. I do believe I'm just, like, straight up faster. I think I'm faster. Yeah, I am faster. I actually EV trained this Pokemon a little bit. Wing attack, okay. Very tanky on the Pidgeot. Pidgeot was another Pokemon that I had to sacrifice. Pidgey did not make it through the Brock fight. And in fact, I'm so surprised that this run made it through the Brock fight at all. Oh, this is beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. Surf now. So... I'm almost to a point where Snorlax solos the rest. I want to see Alakazam. Gyarados. Does have Intimidate. He has Hydro Pump, Rain Dance. That's not good. Do a damage check with Strength. I'm not going to calc this. That would be lame. Okay, so he Rain Danced. Alright, that's a little scary. It's a Beefman time, though. It's a Beefman angle. High special defense. Let's see. Through the rain? That's actually so sketch. But this is what he's here for. Oh, he hit twice? No crit, please, for the love of God. I really need no crit or miss. He hit every single one of them. That is terrifying. You say he was supposed to be a legendary Pokemon. I believe it. I mean, his design is so cool. And I do know in the original anime, he gets shown like a lot of like really cool love. This is not looking too hot right now. Okay, so it's Growlithe. Growlithe I can rest on. Because that reduces the damage of his Flame Wheel. Yeah, so he's takedowning. That, like, scared me a little bit. I actually didn't know how much damage he would be doing here. So I'm going to rest up to full. This is way scarier than Giovanni. Rain stops, so now he's going to be Flame Wheeling again. I can Snore. Oh, he takedown. All right. I guess he knows the high special defense exists. The thing is about the AI in Gen 3 games is they are like pretty clever. Like they do know typings, they do know stats, and they do know what does the most damage at any given time. The reason why Generation 1 is funny is it will always use a super effective move, the AI. So you end up with a lot of situations where you have like a Pokemon like I know that you can like get stuck in an infinite loop if Lorelai's Dugong is facing a fighting type because it will only go for rest, and Gen 1 has unlimited PP. Dugong nor Mr. Mime gets the respect it deserves. What did they do to you? That's me whenever a Pokemon loses me a VGC match. Okay, so here's Alakazam. I wake up here. He calm-minded. I think I live one. If I paralyze him, it's actually kind of sketch again. Okay. disable. So I'm in a rough spot right now. 93, 94. This is rough. I think I'm gonna rest here. Holy shit. Crit would have KO'd. This is why Snorlax is on the team, though. He's the GOAT. Snore KOs. Psychic crit won't KO from full. You love them, but no one really cares for them? Yeah. I mean, Dugong got a decent amount of love in Generation 9 because they added, like, a couple good moves to its set. But Mr. Mime, he is a Forsaken Pokemon. So this Venusaur has, like, no way to damage me. Razor Leaf is a special attack. It can crit. I think I rest again. Because if this crits, I'll be pretty low. Every time, I'm like... Crits being double damage in Generation 3 is so sketchy. Didn't really care for Mr. Mime until it joined my team. It's been a beast. Its special attacking stat is, like, reasonably high, too. His Venusaur is going to be chonky. I think its final moveset, too. I think I got this win on lock now. Its final form, too, it has Solar Beam, Synthesis, Growth, Sunny Day. So it's a setup mon at that point. That's so funny. Wow, wait, that crit did big damage. So when I, like, came up with this run idea... I'm just going to rest again. I'm not going to throw it to anything. Yeah, so when I came up with this run idea, I figured if I picked Squirtle, and gave him Venusaur, it'd be the easiest time. Because once you reach the Elite Four, his team it like varies based off, you know, what Pokemon you pick. And the worst one I figured was with Charizard, because you have to fight Executor, which I think is a beast. And then if you pick Charizard, you have to fight Arcanine. Yeah. Oh, he still has Arcanine if you pick Squirtle, too. Does he have Arcanine on every team? No, he does not have Arcanine if you pick Bulbasaur, though. That's so funny. I guess that picks up his Fire, Water, Grass core. But yeah, Executor is a menace. Alright. I just rested, so I'm snoring for 2 more turns. I need no crit, no crit. I crit. I have to swap out now. But what's nice about this is I can swap out into probably Sus. Sus being level 50. Can't believe people choose Charmander as the starter in OG Red and Blue because it's only good against Erica, Giovanni, and some of Laura. Yeah, dude, people are so... Oh my god. I'm faster. Did he almost one-shot me? Like, what? That's insane. I gotta look at that. I was reading chat when that happened. I just look over at 7 HP. Jesus Christ, Sporg. I was like at 1908 defeating him. I'll smell you later. Oh my. I should have just flown back to Viridian. Walking is so much more of a vibe. Yeah, picking Charizard or Charmander in the original games is such a, like a detriment, honestly. Things don't... Fire is really good from, like... I don't know. Fire got so much better when they added the Fairy type, to be honest, but... Of the Fire, Water, Grass core, I think it's some of the weakers. No, in Gen 1, it is big doo-doo. In fact, honestly, all the starters in Gen 1 are kind of ass. At least from, like, from a Gen 1 standpoint, when you think of, like, what's good. Honestly, Gen 1 was all normal type gaming. Like, Chansey, Tauros, Snorlax. Yeah. Alright. Ooh, another encounter. Spearow, my beloved. So I was gonna do the Victory Road today, but to be honest, I didn't think it was gonna take me that long to actually like reach this point. Psychic Pokemon, dude, Mewtwo. But Alakazam is crazy too. Anything with a high special stat, because that special attack and special defense were compounded into, like, you know, or consolidated into one stat. Chansey having 100 special is insane. I think this is a good point. I think I'm going to save it right here. And I think, you know, all in good fun, I'm going to do one match on Pokemon Champions. And then I'm going to call the stream. I got to go eat dinner. Psychic Pokemon were... Dude, Psychic Pokemon were so OP in Generation 1 that they had to add a separate typing just to counter them in Gen 2. I forgot how good Slowbro was too, and Executor. I love Executor. Also, like, Jinx did have some level of a niche, you know? Alright, I'm gonna do one match right now. I am doing a from scratch series on a, like, low-level account, grinding it all the way up to Masters. I simply don't want to do that right now. I just want to play a nice Paris Trap game to end out stream on. Something to give me a good shot of dopamine, you know? All right. So they have Kommo-o is like absolutely goes Dicko mode here. Incineroar is really strong here off the Rippy. I like Sinistcha here. I like Politoed. I'm gonna float those real quick while I change my thumbnail up. You've ever played Champions? It's free on the Switch right now. I definitely would recommend it if you've ever wanted to play Pokemon at any competitive level, because they've never made it easier, to be honest. Like, it's so streamlined. You don't really have to battle too much with, like, other aspects of the game that made it more confusing. Like, for example, Natures, EVs, IVs, stuff like that. They make it all very simple. It's almost like playing Pokemon Showdown. I'm glad I floated it like that. That way I don't have to futz around too much. I get to play out the whole timer. Alright, this team is really strong here. Kommo-o can tank, like, almost everything from my opponent, except for, like, stuff from Talonflame, which is on lead. Dragon Pulse also is a real possibility from the Lucario. I think Lucario is going to be physical, though. That's my gut. Anyways, I'm gonna Clangor Soul, excuse me, which for 1/4 of my HP will boost all of my stats, and I'm gonna fake out the Talonflame on turn 1. Lucario gets a free close combat into my Incineroar, but I can't let the Talonflame do any shenanigans, so it's worth. You played a little bit of the card game in the original Pokemon trading card game that was on the Game Boy Color, you think? I mean, they also have TCG. They have like a TCG app too, but I don't know. I've never been that much into the Pokemon card game. Mostly because I was taught how to play the... Okay, special attack, and that's really good. I was taught how to play the game incorrectly when I was a child, and I thought it was really bad because I was taught how to play it incorrectly. And then I never learned because I'm a goofball. Alright, so there's that. Leftovers procs, and now what's really funny is because he's close combating, I'm going to Clangor Soul again. I'm +1 defense now, and I'm going to bring in my Sinistcha, which is going to revamp my HP back up to full before I raise my defense again. This is a really good matchup. I'm really glad I played this game before hopping off. I almost hopped off stream, like, right when I got to the Victory Road entrance. Yeah, bro, I would definitely recommend trying it out. It's very fun, and there's a lot to the game, but because the popularity of it right now, the player pool is so huge, there's a lot of room for growth for new players, because there's a lot of new players right now. I was kind of talking about that earlier in the stream, how like RPG games, you end up with like a big gap between new players and existing players. You don't really have that here right now. So he Brave Birded. I don't think this does much. Yeah, it doesn't do much. Bone Rush? What? You weren't even watching me play Friday, just been chatting. Dude, I fucks with that though. I love having company while I'm playing games, while I'm playing stream. Plus, like, you know, low key. Ooh, low HP now. I think it makes for entertainment for others as well, you know, especially with you chatting, bro. People love that. So now I'm gonna go right into my Incineroar again to lower the defenses of, or the offenses of this Talonflame again. So Talonflame used Brave Bird, which negates its ability, Gale Wings. So it no longer has priority on its moves. He doubled into my Kommo-o. Leftovers procs again. So now I'm very safe. The battle ended due to warfare. I was gonna say, my opponent was cooked there. Holy. Anyways, like I said, I was gonna play one more game and then end stream with that. Even though it was a surrender and it was pretty quick, I'm gonna call it. I gotta eat dinner. My girl's gonna kill me right now. She's been like yelling at me and my dog for the last like 20 minutes. Incineroar the furry Pokemon. I love it. Like I said, only because of Smash Bros. Do I really like love Incineroar. You know, he's definitely a goofy, he's a villain of so many VGC metas. But here's the, that's the team. Hold on, let me pull up the ID. That was the team right there. That was the Kommo-o mode, and Kommo-o goes crazy. Anyways, you know, thanks for hanging around, Cam, and thanks for everyone else who stuck around for stream, even if you're just creeping. Definitely remember to drop a like and subscribe. Helps the stream a ton. And I'm going to be live again, probably 5 p.m. on Saturday, same time as last week. You know, and this time it's going to be more Pokemon Champions. I'm literally like the last stretch from Ultra Ball 2 to Master Ball. When is my next stream? Like I said, next, so it's gonna be Saturday at 5 p.m. EST. Yeah. I should be really meta and just use Universal Standard Time like the Pokemon Company, but that gets really confusing. Gonna start talking in military time too. At what is 5 p.m. military time? That's what, 1700? 1700 EST. I'll be live. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for checking out the stream. And I'll catch you the next one, bro. I actually don't stream on Twitch. Competing with the bathtub streamers is rough work. Oh, bro. Maybe one day I'll do some concurrent streams. Anyways, I'll catch you with the next one.